Welcome to our next episode of
Fandom
Family
Chats.
This is a production of Family Fan Clubs on Facebook. You can find us all over Facebook. You can find us all over social media under Fandom Family Chats. Look us up, get dialed in, get plugged in, and get ready to listen to some crazy people talk crazy stuff. Hey guys, welcome back to FFC. I'm Maureen.
I'm Amanda.
And today we are back with another episode. We are talking about Will Trent. Now, if you do not know anything about Will Trent, it's okay. It's only on its second season, just finished its second season. But what are you doing with your time? The first season, I thought the first season was good. I think we did a recap on that last year. So you can go and find our season 1 recap back. It would have been a 2023 episode right before the summer. And it was good last year. But this season I thought was so much better.
It is.
So much better.
It just kept getting better.
Oh, we also did a premiere of season 2 a couple months ago. I think it came out in February when we did that. So go back and watch that if you haven't seen any of our Will Trent stuff this year. We did do the premiere for this year. And so Cricket is gone. And I thought that was going to be a big gap because I really liked Cricket.
I know we already talked about this. I'm still mad about it.
I'm
still mad. I don't think I will ever forgive them.
No, because every time he gets close to Angie, they derail it somehow in a really awful way. Every single time. And so I was actually thinking, I just finished watching season 2 last night is when I finished. And I've been watching it all week. And I was thinking, you know what? I really like Angie and Will this time around. I'm so glad they're together this time around because I'm an idiot. And then the final episode happened. And they, again, broke them up in an awful, terrible way.
Do you think it's going to stick, though? We know she didn't, kill a kid.
But she did let a murderer go free, and she went on to murder 6. And I think that's the only reason Will did what he did. Because this girl went on to kill 5 other people. And if Angie didn't lie. And so, okay, if you watch season 1, you'll see where there was a situation where the guy who raped Angie when she was 15 was now married to a woman who also had a 15-year-old. Obviously, big problem, huge red flag that should have never happened. Angie didn't do anything wrong, except for she was coming at him. But as we found out, she needed to because he was not reformed as they thought he was. He was not reformed at all. And then the girl, the 15-year-old he was living with, stabbed him in the neck. And Angie took the blame for it. Angie said, I did it, then beat the crap out of her own face. And then Ormwood and her covered it up. I wonder if they're going to.
Angie, to me, makes a lot of mistakes.
A lot. Because she wants to protect people. And that's what she said to Will was, of course I did, because that's what we do. Was that in his dream? Like in his little fantasy thing?
I don't think so.
Okay, so she actually said that. Because the moment, now in the final episode, the screen flips upside down when he goes into the elevator. And I'm like, okay, so this is not going to be real then. So that's your indication. Nothing that happened was
I just
real.
watched that one last night too.
What did you think of the finale?
I don't know, really. I was expecting, I guess, something more.
Really? I liked it a lot.
I really enjoyed this whole season. But I don't know. I feel like there was a lead up. And I was stuff. I don't want to give everything away. Stuff happened, but
yeah. You wanted a bigger splash.
I guess so. I think a lot of our shows that are ending haven't had big finales this season. I mean, that's probably because everything was cut short and a little discombobulated this season's for all of our shows. But I don't know. I think I'm used to season finales being
huge productions.
Something happens or there's and stuff happened. I don't want to take that away. I think it was still a really good season finale. I don't know what I was expecting more, but I was expecting something more, even though they devastated me on episode 1.
There's a lot of death. I mean, I get it's a cop show, so people are going to die. They're going to investigate murders, but a lot of death surrounding our people in this season.
There was.
It really
the Amanda storyline too.
Yes.
That was insane.
Will's storyline. Oh my gosh, when he found his uncle. That was awesome. And
okay, but did you think his uncle was nefarious though?
The whole time.
Oh, I still don't trust him 100%. This poor guy.
Yes, I kept thinking to myself, okay, so when is he going to screw Will over? I know. When is Will going to find out his uncle's actually a huge drug kingpin?
I'm like, how do you know it's your real uncle?
Gotta come up, right? That's what on the one where his friend got shot. I was like, okay, so it's gonna come out here. He's not really related to him. He's screwing him over.
I just keep waiting for the other shoe to drop. I mean, it honestly, it makes it a good show because they constantly have you on your toes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really want to complain about it.
No,
but
I like it.
I'm still like, this guy could like take a DNA test in front of me and I'd be like,
are you sure though?
Did you fake that?
Did you just grab a little sample of Will's own hair instead of your own?
I think it was the way they did it, is because they're like, I have dyslexia. Oh, I have dyslexia. I'm like, are you disagreeing with everything?
That was
are you
my
trying? Maybe I'm just super skeptical. Like,
and the fact
ruined me.
Where the information came from in the first place. I was like, okay, so how is this dude? And I don't even remember the character's name. I just know he always plays a horrible person.
Who?
The guy who in the season finale of season 1, he thinks he's Will's dad, but he was like the serial killer that they arrested at the end of season 1. What is his name?
Greg.
Is that what it is, Greg?
In real life, it is.
Oh, because I don't remember his character's name at all, but it came from him, and he obviously has some things loose. So I thought
that's right.
I thought maybe he was working with this guy to somehow get one over on Will Trent. That's what I thought. I don't think that's so much anymore, but there's a lot of coincidences and a lot of things that are like,
right? I don't know if they're like just trying to make us like, I don't know, like Will's never had anybody that really like had things in common with him.
Yes.
Like, but I feel like they just threw it all at us at one time, and I was like, I don't trust you.
And because they made Will like very, very close with this guy very quickly. And I get why.
Yeah. Well,
but
I don't, because Will's not like
when it comes to his
trust.
mom, he is. When it comes to that aspect, he wants to. And because of his upbringing, he yearns for family so much so that if someone has the right information about his family, his mom, I can see why he would cling to him. But the fact that he got so attached so quickly was a red flag to me of, okay, this guy is going to hurt Will in a really bad way.
Yeah.
And I'm still not sold that he's not.
I don't know what they can do to make me trust this poor guy. But...
Right? It's all of our other shows have ruined us. There's no way we're trusting. It's like when we were watching The Way Home. We're like, nope, if you were not birthed here, if you were not here the whole time, you are from elsewhere and you cannot be trusted. That's what it is on Will Trent. If you have not been here the whole time, you're done. You're not a good person.
You know what I think it is? I think I trusted them a lot more last season. And then they killed Cricket on episode 1, and they lost my trust. I was like, I don't like you anymore. I'm still gonna watch the show, and I still gonna like the show, but I don't trust you.
It does kind of seem like their whole goal is to see how screwed up they can make Will. That man. Okay, so this is what we started talking about when he found his uncle, and he found out that it was he loaded the gun, and the way. Oh my gosh, I don't even know the Will Trent actor. I don't know what his name is.
Ramon.
I feel like that's what it is, but I don't know for sure. He did such a good job when he just kept saying, "It was me." I just started sobbing.
I did
too. Holy cow.
He deserves an award for that performance.
Yes. He does that character, that trauma-filled, broken human. He plays that part so completely that I was devastated for him. And that was, even when his uncle said there, you didn't. It was not you. It was an abusive man, not a young boy trying to be brave. Even that, I was like, okay, what's your angle?
Why? I know.
Are they the right words? Yes, but why did you say those right words?
Will's like breaking down, and his uncle's standing there. And I'm like, he's going to take this and use all this against Will.
That's what I thought at first, too.
I was like, oh, here he comes. Like, here it comes.
Part of me thought, is he related to the guy who shot the woman? Is he related to him? Actually, that was one of my other thoughts, is how he was going to come in and screw him over.
Think about that.
That was my thought. These other shows have just completely damaged. And well, no, as we just discovered, Will Trent damaged us. Don't kill off people that we're connected to, because now we're afraid to connect to anybody.
And I think if it was another actress, I don't think it would.
Maybe. You can't kill Beth Pearson and have us be like, oh, cool.
You can't take fans from This Is Us and then make it like, I'm going to fall in love with her within a second of her being on a show.
Honestly, I don't think Susan could play a single character that I wouldn't be like, no, she's the best.
I know.
She could be a serial killer. Be like, yeah, but is it really her fault though? Maybe they fell into the knife.
There's some childhood trauma. I totally understand where she's coming from.
She's doesn't control of her mental faculties. It's totally fine.
She just needs some help and guidance. This is how we talk whenever when we're talking about our naughty books. Not you.
I was gonna
Not
say
you. Not you. Me and Jeanette and Tiffany and Caitlin.
That's how I talk about Rafe. But it's because Rafe has expressed verbally, I'm not right up here, help me please. And everyone's like, nah, you don't need it.
You're good. You're good. Just
We're
murdered a couple people by the time you're graduated high school.
Strangle your sister. It's fine.
It's fine. Totally understandable. We've all been there.
The other thing I really liked with Will Trent is the way the season played out with Will, watching him grow, watching him do with the Spanish and stuff. And that's the other thing. When he went down to Puerto Rico, I also thought that his uncle was going to rope him into doing something he shouldn't. Is what I kind of thought. Like that just seemed kind of. And I also forgot Puerto Rico was an American territory.
I always forget about it too. Don't worry.
Because it feels like a completely different country.
It's because it's not a state. It's a territory. And I do not get the United States sometimes. I was distracted in history in high school. So sorry.
The other thing that I really liked about the season was Nico. Like, I liked Nico last season, but I loved her this season. When she wrote that letter for Will with 4 different templates for him to choose from, I'm like, you are the best human being.
She's become like dog walker to like personal assistant.
And emotional support.
So she's become one of the families.
And even when Will brought in the dining room table and the semi-finale, and he asked Angie what color, and Nico was like, I like the light color. She's
part of the family.
Exactly. And I love how her character played out. I kind of understood why Faith and Will were mad at Amanda. I keep forgetting. I don't know why I forgot Amanda's name, because you're sitting right in front of me. But I get why they were upset, but I can't believe that they wouldn't see the goodness behind why she did what she did.
I know.
But so like I was frustrated that whole episode. Like, really, he raped all these women and brutalized them in really horrible ways, and judges could not see that, or they did see it, but they're like, yeah, well, not enough. But then I remembered
that whole storyline was weird.
But then I remembered Faith's mom was outed by Will, and she got fired for basically the same thing. I had forgotten about that.
I did too, till you just said it.
It was so long between seasons that I absolutely forgot that storyline.
I did too.
There were some aspects, I think, of the season that were kind of kitschy, because they were trying to be. Will Trent tries to walk the line of not all hard serious, but adding some light into it by like little jokey things. So there were some times throughout the season where I thought, I don't think that's necessary. There was actually that scene when he's in Puerto Rico and he goes in the water. I actually had the thought, that's not his personality. He's a germaphobe. But that's not Will Trent. That's Monk, who's the germaphobe. But because they try to replicate that same formula that Monk did, I automatically transferred Monk's personality traits onto Will Trent.
And I feel like they're not the same.
They just try to follow the same formula sometimes.
I feel like they have a couple of similarities, but not enough to like directly tie in. Like, because Will's a little bit quirky.
Yes.
Monk was quirky. They both like walk into a room and they kind of do that same thing when they walk into a room and kind of like
can see things.
Yeah, like put the puzzle pieces together of the crime scene while they're just standing there. So there's like, to me, there's a little bit of similarities, but I don't think enough to completely directly.
I think they just follow the same. They're trying to follow the same formula that Monk had, where it's funny, quirky mixed with hard police work. Like that scene when they were in, it was his uncle came there, and it's Angie and it's Will, and they went to this house to try to find the blackmail piece. Right. And Angie's, they're singing, and they're singing before they went in there, and Angie's eating out of the cereal box, and they're like talking like, what?
I did not like that.
This feels weird. Why are you doing this? I think it's better when Ormwood comes in with the wisecracks and the one-liners. That feels more natural than that weird scene where they try to add in quirky. You don't need to add in quirky. Let your characters be the quirk that they already are. You don't have to add more on top of it randomly.
I can see that.
So I think that's my only complaint about it. Speaking of Ormwood, how did you feel about that storyline?
It was really, I don't want to say odd, because you kind of saw it coming,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt like it was played out a little oddly.
I agree.
As husband and wife, like, why was there no community? She just left. And I
Mm-hmm.
get mental
Mental
health
illness.
is not cut and dry. It's not black and white.
Yeah,
It is messy. It's we don't know why we do the things we do sometimes, and that's okay. But I don't know. It just didn't feel. It felt like we missed stuff.
I agree
I
with
feel
that.
like I didn't like get the whole story. I felt like it was like she was working on it. They were talking, and all of a sudden she was just gone.
Mm-hmm. I agree
Like,
with that.
wait, I feel like I missed something. Like, was there anything in between that you guys didn't tell us?
Mm-hmm. It's
And
because we
then
didn't see it.
and then the last episode, she just jumps back in, and I'm like, oh, okay. I guess she's good now. Like, there was
Apparently.
just there was no communication with us as the viewers.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with that assessment.
I did like seeing him like playing a single dad and like
Mm-hmm.
trying to do the braids. That cracked me up.
When he went up to Faith to ask her how to, I'm like, dude, those are two very different hair types, my guy.
And then he asked like the other person like at the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was that storyline did like crack me up. And it was also very kind of, I guess, relatable.
Yeah. And I like too that Max got to see a different side of his dad than what he believed his dad was.
Yeah.
That needed to happen. The other thing that bugged me about that storyline too is that I can more understand mom being, because they had Ormwood tell us she couldn't get out of bed, but that wasn't until after she left, and
Yeah.
we didn't see that. That was the first we had heard of it, and we didn't see her at all. Maybe the actress had a different show she was doing, maybe because of the strike. I don't know, but you need to run that better. If you know
Yeah.
there's gonna be an absence with the actress, you need to run it better. I don't know why she wasn't shown. I don't know, but I can understand a woman who is manically depressed being like, I can't do this. I'm out, and leaving with a note. Okay, fine. I'll give you that. But to have all the people in her life and in those kids' life be like, no, this is good for her. She needs it. I'm sorry, she has two children. You're not going to be more upset that she just ducked out? I
Yeah.
don't think that was realistic. I think you can have a line of compassion of she really needed this, but also acknowledging this wasn't the right way to do it. And no, like her sister
Oh, her
didn't do
sister
that.
made me so mad.
Yeah, and it seemed
She's
like
just
everyone
like, well,
who
why don't you like? Do you not care about her kids at all? I understand
exactly.
you care about your sister, and you need to be an advocate for her right now. But the kids need advocates too,
Mm-hmm.
not just
That's
from dad.
exactly it.
So
And that frustrated me.
could they not go and like one episode go and visit her,
Mm-hmm.
or like I don't know. I feel like it was just like they threw something at us without all the information, and
Yeah,
then we weren't told anything, and then she's back, and then I don't know. It felt very messy put together for
it
me.
did. Yeah. Although I did like the final episode when she said that, I'm going to file for divorce and I'm going to leave and I'm going to file for custody of the kids. What judge in their right mind is going to give you full custody of the kids when you just ducked out without saying a word to anybody into a mental health facility, came back randomly, are about to move across country, and then be like, oh yeah, by the way, I want all my kids. Insane.
Mm.
But Ormwood is who I loved there, where he said, I'm glad you're feeling better. And I was like, oh no, don't give in. Don't give in. But then he
I
got
knew
in
he
her
wasn't.
face, and because he was kind and he was compassionate. He made sure he was during that point. And then he
Mm-hmm.
got in her face and he said, no way in hell are you taking my kids. Like, he might have just like bumped up on one of my top 3 favorites of the show
You know
from that
what?
scene alone.
Last season I had a hard time even remembering his name.
I say him.
This season I'm like, woo,
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I like him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I used to like Angie more than him, and now they've traded places.
Yep.
He's my number 2. Trent's my number 1. I can't.
Yes, obviously it has to be Will Trent on that. Although Faith this season too, I really started to like her a lot because I liked her last season, but this season watching her work with Will, she
Yeah.
shot up quite a bit for me. Quite a bit.
Then I feel like we got to see her like, I don't know the right word to put it, badassery.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got to see her like really kind of put her whole self in there, and the fight scene when they're like being held hostage and like in the dress and heels. Like I'm like that's entertaining.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, it's a TV show. I want entertainment.
Yes, and it shows her ingenuity.
Yeah. And we don't really get to see that a lot, like the
No.
action like part of her. And so that was fun to see. I really enjoyed that episode. And
yeah,
with her son there, and I really liked that episode. That was a good episode.
Especially because it's Will Trent. So a lot of time we're focusing on how smart he is and how good of a detective he is. That episode, we did get to see Will's ingenuity, but it really highlighted she's not just under Will Trent. She is his partner. They are equals because they are both equally smart. They're both equally capable of doing so many amazing things. And she killed one guy. She beat the crap out of another girl. If that girl didn't take her son, she would have single-handedly taken them all out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was awesome. I thought that episode was a little weird because it was like,
it had a couple of weird scenes. I'll give you
that. But I really enjoyed that overall.
I did too. By the way, why the whole pen throwing thing that really irritated me. That's all I had to say about that. Why would you do that? That I feel like when I was watching that episode, I was like, I'm saying that in the podcast because that really irked me during it. I didn't think it would still be in my head, but it is.
Even the way they chose to film it, like slow motion with the pen, like
I'm like, it's slow mo, and I'm like, she ain't catching that.
No, of course she's not. That was the other thing with Ormwood. Like when the appendicitis, like the way they acted about it, like that's not reality. And then he runs in there, I need help. Dude, you can calmly drive to the ER because you don't know if her appendix is burst. It could just be at appendicitis. Yes, there is a rush, but not the way they did it.
No, it was a full-on production.
That was also, I'm so glad I remembered this because I made a note of it in my head last night, but I knew I was gonna forget. Did you notice the girl who was a firefighter when Will said, how are your acting skills? Do you remember what she said? I guest starred on The Resident a couple times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When did I did? Was I going to the bathroom? How did I missed that? I didn't hear that at all.
That was when right before she had that like asthma attack, the fake asthma attack. She had said she guest starred on The Resident a couple times because The Resident was filmed in Georgia. I was like, that's awesome. I love that. And I don't know if it was like a placebo effect, but when she said that, I can remember scenes with her in it. But I don't know if that's actually accurate or if it's just because she said it, I put her in there. But I thought that was a nice little tie-in.
I love that. Now I gotta go rewatch.
And Will Trent's on ABC too, and wasn't The Resident on Fox?
Mm-hmm.
So that was funny that they even
little crossover.
Yeah, I like that
crossover network.
I was happy to see that or to hear that. Did you have a favorite aspect about the season, or favorite part about the season? Maybe episode.
Trying to think.
I know we say this about the Chicagos a lot, but I really liked seeing the teamwork this year. Because there's a couple times, when Ormwood was up at the GBI offices and where GBI was down in the precinct offices. I liked that teamwork aspect of it. I like seeing them all together.
You know what? I'm not a big Angie fan. No. Some people are. I'm not a big Angie fan.
I was this season.
I was this season. That's what I'm gonna say. Is like I hated the season finale and now there's a lot of speculation that she's actually leaving the show.
No.
It's not. It's all right now. It's all talk from everything I could find.
Will.
I know. And so like I want to say like my favorite kind of aspect of the whole season was Will and Angie's kind of relationship and where it got by the end of the season. I really enjoyed watching that and them like kind of being happy and waking up next to each other. Like I really liked it. I feel like they should be together.
I agree.
But I don't know. I hope she comes back. I'm trying not to get my hopes up about him now.
Yeah.
I've read like 3 news articles that it's been rumored that she's leaving. But
even when she looked at him and she was crying and she said, I had hoped you'd choose me. Like, that alone, that sentence alone is going to absolutely destroy Will.
Yeah. It will really if she doesn't come back and they don't reconcile.
Where do you think he went? I think he went to Puerto Rico.
I was gonna say Puerto Rico. I was like, I think he's because I don't think we're done with Puerto Rico. I think that's gonna be like a huge. Did you hear my accents are coming out? That's what I get for living so close to Mexico.
I love it when your accent comes out.
my my Spanish. I have like a Spanish accent that starts coming out all of a sudden. Puerto Rico. I think it's going to be a
Ooh.
lot of Puerto Rico. So that's
And
I thought we were going to have more Puerto Rico this season,
well,
and
they
then
had
we
to build
didn't.
up to it.
I know, but I don't know. I feel like they were like going to keep it in this season, but I think maybe they were just setting us up for
That's
next
what I
season.
think. Because I
So
think Will take a sabbatical from the GBI while Angie is incarcerated.
you
Because
think so?
I don't think he'll want to stay where Angie is, or he'll be reassigned by the GBI to somewhere in Puerto Rico temporarily. But I think he'll be down there with his uncle because he can't not solve crime. He can't not do that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, even while he was down there, he was noticing things and focusing on things that he didn't need to, because that's just who he is. That's built into who he is, and you can't have a whole season where he's not doing that.
No,
That's the
not
premise of
gonna
the
be a
show.
season.
So I think he's either going to take a sabbatical and then get involved in Puerto Rico law enforcement, or get involved in fighting for the Puerto Ricans to like join the fight that his uncle is doing, or he'll be reassigned by the GBI to work with another law affiliate down in Puerto Rico.
That would
Not
make
the FBI,
sense.
clearly.
Yeah. Definitely not.
I
But
hated that lady, by the way. When she was telling Amanda's assistant to go get her clothes, I'm like, who do you think you are?
I know. I love the way that played out though.
Yes, I'm glad.
That was great. I didn't as soon as his uncle came with that gun and pointed, I was like, this better be a setup.
That's
Because for that
where did your
like,
head go though?
There it is.
This is the uncle we've been waiting for.
Here he comes. He's gonna show us his real colors now.
I thought that until she got the gun, and I was like, oh, okay, this is clearly a setup, because there's no way if he was actually a bad dude that she would get that gun that easily from him. So okay.
No, I gotta feel like I know his name in real life, and I can't think of it right now.
Antonio is his name on the show.
John
right?
Ortiz.
John Ortiz. That name is very familiar to me.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Probably on some
As
of
soon
our
as he
shows
came
as
on the
well.
screen, I knew he was gonna be.
He did look familiar to me.
You know, he reminds me of Mark Ruffalo too. He
Really?
reminds me of kind of an older Mark Ruffalo. I don't know. It's like his
Maybe it's the hair.
mannerisms. Might be the hair. There's something that always like links them two together in my head.
I thought it was going to be such a boring show without Mark Paul Gosselaar. And I remember I thought to myself last night, I need to tell people it's good, even without Zach Morris.
I know. I'm a little sad we didn't get like one appearance.
He was the one who brought funny in ways that I thought it worked.
Yeah. But they did it. They did it a good job without him.
It was absolutely, it was good without him. Wow. Ramon Rodriguez's picture on IMDb is very nice.
Is it? I think I know which picture you're talking about. I gotta. Oh yeah, I knew exactly what picture you were talking about too. Hey Ramon, you should just go ahead and go gray. It's okay.
Right? It looks nice. Although
hey,
Jake
he's
McLaughlin
from Puerto
is beautiful
Rico.
too. Is he?
Yeah.
And he's trying to not speak the language.
Puerto Rico. Oh, by the way, I do love his Spanish. Like,
I know.
His Spanish journey. I don't know what to call it. His journey. Cute. I love it. And him like trying so hard to speak. Like with the kids in the car.
He just gave up.
The car. Like I'm like, why do you keep doing this to yourself?
When he was talking to that lady and trying to make conversation with her, she was like, poor Will.
He's trying so hard.
He is. He just wants to be one of the people.
I'm surprised he doesn't know Spanish though, even.
I mean, but he never really knew he knew, but he didn't really know much about his heritage.
That's true. And I'm trying to think if it's like foster parents that we know so far. None of them were Hispanic.
No, and they were all awful.
So I guess he wouldn't know Spanish. That would make sense.
Okay, so no, Erica Christensen is coming back.
Is she?
Yeah, she gave an interview on May 24th. And season 3 has been confirmed.
I knew that.
But I didn't know when it was confirmed. But season 3 is obviously coming in. Erica Christensen feels hopeful about what's coming up. So that's good. I think Will and Angie have to be endgame. And if Will could forgive Amanda quickly over what he viewed as a lapse in judgment with police work, he's going to be more understanding of Angie because he knows what Angie went through and what that girl went through. And I think he's going to know Angie well enough to know that she genuinely thought Crystal killed because of self-defense.
Mhm.
Because he was trying to kill Angie. And that's another thing. We talked about this in the finale of season 1. I thought that was a stupid plan. The whole
I did
thing
too.
was
I did too.
dumb. It did not have to play out that way. But it's
Mm-mm.
just Angie's instincts are so terrible all the time with that stuff. But I think that Will is going to see that it was, and it might have actually been in self-defense. Maybe that kill was the one that made Crystal realize I need to eradicate these people. But I think that he's going to be able to forgive her, and I think they're going to be endgame, and I think it's going to be
I hope
hopefully
so.
strong. But I don't really want this to be a seasonal thing where they're distant and then they're close and it's really good and then something horrible happens. I don't want that to happen every season. Don't bring them back
No.
together again for me until you are ready to keep them together.
Yeah. If you still want to play around with their characters alone, then keep them alone.
Yes.
Because they can't, I mean, 1 or 2 times you can do it. You can't really
Mhm.
do it much after that.
Yeah.
We cannot have another Ross and Rachel.
No. And I actually really liked them as friends too. I was
I did
satisfied with
too.
that. But then I also, where they came together this season, I really, really liked how their romantic relationship was when they came back together this season.
Yeah. I enjoyed all of it. I enjoyed their ups and downs, and
So
but I need them together.
until you're ready to keep them together, keep them as friends. And then when you are ready to keep them together, then bring them back together. And then I'd like to see them, because obviously there's going to be tumultuous things in their romantic relationship, and that's fine to see. But I don't want to see them keep being torn apart in awful ways.
Yeah.
It's not healthy for anybody.
I totally agree.
So I think that's my hope for next season, is that Angie is redeemed because she needs to be. And she's already going to be a wreck from that, watching that girl die.
Oh, that's going to take a big toll on her.
Yeah. I don't want Angie to relapse. I want her to be stronger than that.
I don't know. I was scared. That's what I was scared of first and foremost.
Yeah. But she was strong but here's the thing. Angie is really good with abstaining from physical reasons. It's the emotional stuff that makes her break. Because she did abstain the pain medication when she hurt her back. But this is an emotional trauma that she just watched this girl die who she tried to save.
So I really didn't expect them to do it, but
no, I didn't expect him to die either. That was crazy to me. So those are my hopes for next season. What about you? What are your hopes for next season?
I want Will and Angie together right now, but I also don't think that that's going to happen soon. I think if anything, it's not going to be until into season 3, season 4 that we have them actually together. If they go that route, I think they can also put another love interest for Will, and I would probably be fine with it.
It'd be okay. I mean, I do want Angie and him to be endgame, but I think if they do that temporarily, that would be fine with me.
I mean, even if they aren't endgame, I think I'd still be okay with it, as long as they were like good friends and they were both happy.
Yeah, I suppose that's the kicker, is they both have to be happy.
Yeah, I don't want like one happy and one miserable, like.
Yeah.
But my main goal is I would love them to be together by the end. Another thing is I want more of Faith and all I can think of right now is Fridge.
Oh, that's the other thing.
Amanda kept cracking me up with that relationship.
Amanda kept making me mad with that. Like, he's a reporter. Faith is not a moron. She's not going to give him information that he can't have.
I know. It's so like she didn't trust Faith at all, even though she's known her whole life.
And she has no business. That's the first relationship that Faith actually feels happy with and solid in, and Amanda's trying to ruin it.
I know. That's my hope for next season. I want to see more of their relationship bloom.
Agreed.
And then become stronger. Because I really like them two together. I think their chemistry is really well on screen. And I hope we do get some more Puerto Rico. And I hope that Antonia is not a psychopath.
Yeah, please prove us wrong on that. That would be really great. Thanks.
At least making me trust him. Do something. I don't even know. You could probably be like, I swear on everything, this is a good guy. And I'd be like,
prove it.
Have you met Shonda Rhimes and Dick Wolf?
Those are the main people shows that we watch. We don't trust anybody.
I don't trust no one.
I think in order for us to trust them, he's going to have to basically offer up his life in exchange for Will's. But please don't kill him. That's not what I'm saying. But he needs to be prepared to do that and be brought to the brink of death for the sake of Will, for me to trust him.
Yeah, we need. I don't know what it would take for me to trust him. I really don't.
But if he is killed for Will, Will is going to be absolutely damaged and destroyed beyond repair. So you can't kill him.
No, no, as long as it stays good, like as long as he doesn't turn out to be a psychopath, I really like the storyline of Will finding his uncle and,
Agreed.
making this relationship and
And that family that he met.
yeah, and just like having family. Like I really do want that for Will, and I hope it
Hmm.
is Antonia. I don't know. I'm just not there with the trust yet.
No,
I
at
think he
all.
and we did learn he is into a little bit of shady stuff. And then
Hmm.
when we met everybody in Puerto Rico around him, I was like, I told you he
Yep.
was evil. I told you
Hmm.
he was something bad. And then nothing came of it. I was like, dang it.
Especially when Javier, when he was saying what he was saying about Will, I was like, oh no.
I know. He's like, my nephew's a cop. And I was like, why are you telling everybody that? What are you doing?
And then, oh, when those guys came to meet them at the restaurant, they're like, "You're a
Oh,
cop." Like, Antonio, what are you doing right now? What are you
I
into?
know. I was like, are you trying to get Will killed? Because you're just going to be proving me right.
My hope is that he's a good dude. That's what I
I
hope
do
for.
too. I have like all this hope that he is, but I'm just
I
not
just
there with
don't
my
believe it's
trust.
gonna happen, but that's what I want.
And like I said, I don't know what they can make them, what they can do to make me believe it at this point.
It looks like everybody in the cast is going to be returning. There was rumors that Erica Christensen wasn't returning, but on May 24th, an interview dropped with her where she's hopeful for season 3, and it looks like she's returning. So
I'm
most of our
happy.
people
That
are
makes me
returning.
happy.
Yes. So that's hope for them to be redeeming her character because they won't keep her if she's not going to be redeemed. There's no way that will make
No.
it through that. So
And I honestly think she's easily redeemable. Like
I agree.
she's a strong enough character to where she can come out of this with unscathed.
Yeah. And then her relapse will make more sense to Will because when her relapse came, it was after that. Where she
Yep.
obviously it was not something she wanted to do, but it was something she felt she had to do. She felt responsible for that man being out because the same case that could be made about her of, hey, you let this girl go, she murdered 6 other people. Well, hey, law enforcement, you let this guy go and he continued to rape and pillage young girls.
Yep.
So I mean that's where she was at. She didn't want to do it, but she felt that she had been robbed before, and so had other girls because the justice system didn't work, that she had to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's how they're gonna redeem her.
I agree with you on that. I hadn't really thought too much about how they were going to yet, but no, I agree with you.
Yeah, they'll make a good case. And I
I
think
think
I
so.
want to see Ormwood get his kids. At least I think he should get not full custody, but I think he should get primary custody. Where it's not
Mm-hmm.
even a 50-50 split, but she sees them like every other weekend, maybe
Mm,
half of the summer.
I think
But
if she got the mental help that she needs, then I would be fine with like
But we have
50-50
to, but
custody.
we have to watch that build. We can't just be like, oh,
Yeah.
next season here it is
Yeah.
50-50. No, we have to watch that build. We have to watch her
No.
because
It's gonna
Ormwood,
take like most of the season, I feel like, for me.
yes, because Ormwood stepped up to the plate. He didn't neglect his kids. Every time his kids had to be pulled out of school or something happened with his kids, he was there for his kids. His
Mm-hmm.
work did not stop him from being a father in any way. So I think that we have to watch him get primary custody while she gets better, and then they could split the time.
Yeah.
But
I
if she's
agree.
moving to a, if here's the thing though, if she's moving to a different state, you can't split the time 50-50 because you can't put the kids in 2 different schools
I don't know why she's leaving.
to be closer to family, I guess. But I thought her family was near. Her sister was there,
I know.
so I was confused. So I think that's everything that I want to see for next season.
I don't think
Yeah.
I just want to see more character development, more character growth
Mhm.
for everybody.
What
I don't have
rating out of 10 would you give this season?
like 7.5.
I
I think there's a
think
lot of room for growth,
okay.
but it was a good season. I think
It
it was
was a
better
good
than
season.
one,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they could even do better. So
I think I would give it an 8.5 because there's just like some of the kitschy things I think they need to work out those kinks.
yeah.
But I really did like a lot of what they did. The other thing the one last thing I didn't like was this finale. I didn't like how it started. How it was the exact same startup as the episode before it, but they
Mm-hmm.
just like, it was like they cut out parts. It
Yep.
felt,
I noticed that too.
we
I
didn't
forgot
need to,
about that, but I did
we
notice it.
didn't need to re-see that. If you wanted to be from her perspective, start from where Will leaves and then you focus on Angie. That's where it should have started. We
Mhm.
didn't need the weird, because I was actually confused for a minute. Like,
I was going to say I
start
was
the
a little
episode
bit
over?
confused.
That I thought we don't need like fancy camera angles or fancy like artsy shot. We don't need that. We want you to continue with the formula that you have that works.
Yeah, don't turn things upside down, by the way. I didn't like that because my head went like this as I was watching. It was going up.
I appreciated it because then I was prepared for that. What I was going to see was not what I was going to see. Also, did you notice the Stranger Things sound in the last couple episodes?
Mm-mm.
It was that it was the instrumental that I can't even describe it. It was like almost like the drum beat thing that they do in Stranger Things. That was their musical notes on the last 2 episodes.
Oh, I didn't pay attention.
And on the
watch
credits,
pay attention.
on the credits on either the finale or the semi-finale was the same sound from Stranger Things.
Oh,
so that made me happy.
I didn't pay attention.
All right.
I like to watch it on really low volume though, and read the subtitles.
Captions.
So I'm horrible.
Well, I think that's all we have to say on Will Trent. Watch it, please. It's on Hulu. You can catch up on all of it right now on Hulu. The season may be over, but seasons 1 and 2 are on Hulu. You can watch without ads if you have that, or with ads. The commercials aren't that long. I don't have the commercial thing, or I have commercials because I'm cheap. So I don't mind the commercials in there. All seasons are on there. Get caught up on it. It's a really great show. Watch out for some other episodes we have coming towards you. All our finale episodes are coming. You are going to get a Grey's Anatomy Station 19 one and a 911 one. That was weird to say. You're going to get a 911 episode. And then there's also Bridgerton Part 2 is coming out. The Bear. Oh my gosh, The Bear is coming back at the end of June.
Baby.
What?
I thought you meant our podcast.
Oh.
I don't know if we'll ever get to recording a Bear podcast.
I was going to say, I do not say that because I have been amped up about that show returning for like 2 months.
Haven't we all?
So we are hopefully going to get you a season 1 and 2 review out. We've tried and tried and tried, and something always happens that makes it impossible to record. Hopefully we're going to get that to you before the season 3 premiere. Season 3 of The Bear returns at the end of June, and we will get you a recap for that. Keep watching us. Make sure that you are on our Facebook group too, Fandom Family Chats. We've compiled all of our groups into that one group, Fandom Family Chats. It is not just a podcast group. It's where we talk about all of our fandoms, books, movie, show, TV, whatever. It's all right there. Give us your suggestions and let us know what you're into right now, what you think we should be into, what you think we should be covering. And on that note, we'll see you real soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Loving our content? Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to share our podcast with your family and friends. We want to continue the conversation with you. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok under Fandom Family Chats, or one of our ever-growing Facebook groups by searching Family Fan Club. We've also launched a website, Family Fan Club 2021 at wixsite.com. You can email us there and keep checking it for announcements and merch coming soon. And of course, be sure to tune in every week for new episodes discussing all your favorite shows.